Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. The Glazers say sorry. Joel Glazer recently released a statement apologising to club fans over the European Super League. I didn't read all of the statement, but apparently the Glazers are ready to sell Manchester United. We need new owners. I hate the way that this club has been run. The Glazers have been at the football club since 2005, so they've been with us now like 16 years. You know, the Glazers were planning to ditch the Champions League for this European Super League. Now, according to recent reports, Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. He says that there's 5 candidates that could replace Ed Woodward. If we get Edwin van der Sar in as our new chairman, it will be the right decision by Manchester United because, for one, Edwin van der Sar has got the experience. He's the CEO at Ajax and he's done very, very well at Ajax. Number 2, he knows the club through thick and thin because Edwin van der Sar endured 6 years at Manchester United. He was with us from 2005 to 2011. Edwin van der Sar, don't forget, was linked with a technical director role. There's also been talks saying that Darren Fletcher could be our new chairman, but he's our technical director. Now, it got announced yesterday that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. Now, Ed Woodward is expected to leave Man United in the summer rather than the end of the year. Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. A lot of Manchester United fans, or should I say all Manchester United fans, are delighted with this news because we've been very critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. Main explanations is because he hasn't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired. Our recruitment in general has been very poor and we've overpaid for players. Woodward has showed his support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer several times, even when we was enduring them really, really bad periods. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And he said the other month that he believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. And he did release a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Now, as you all know, all 6 English clubs pulled out of the European Super League. I think all the foreign clubs have pulled out as well. I'm very, very delighted, because if this European Super League would have gone ahead, it would have ruined everything. Everybody was against it, apart from the owners of clubs. You know, the owners of clubs are the only ones that wanted this European Super League to go ahead, so they could obviously generate more money. But it said a few days ago from Sky Sports that 12 clubs had agreed to join this new European Super League. Gary Neville, he had a lot to say on it, like I updated you on, and I agree with exactly everything Gary Neville said. He called for the Glazer family to sell Manchester United and leave the country, and he called them scavengers. Neville was fuming with this European Super League, but he did say that he was convinced it wasn't going to go through, not a chance. Gary Neville and Jurgen Klopp recently had a heated argument over the European Super League debate, but I think Gary Neville has actually apologised to Jurgen Klopp, because he was critical of Liverpool's anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone." Marcus Rashford, he came out yesterday and hit out at the European Super League. And he put a post on. It was a banner saying that football is nothing without fans. And underneath it said Sir Matt Busby. Bruno Fernandes, he also had his perception on it. Luke Shaw spoke about it. He said yesterday that Harry Maguire had confronted Ed Woodward in a meeting after our players were left in the dark over the European Super League plans. This obviously came out before clubs started to withdraw, but Harry Maguire lashed out. So, yeah, I'm glad it's not going ahead. Now, you know the news on the transfers, don't you? I just want to give you some news on Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already warned Manchester United about the Erling Haaland transfer. He said the other week that Man United were relying on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's close bond with Haaland to secure the signing of the player. Now, Erling Haaland leaving Borussia Dortmund is very, very likely after Dortmund's Champions League exit to Manchester City. Now, The Athletic said that Dortmund are demanding £150 million, which is a substantial amount, but The Athletic said the other week that we are one of the clubs that can afford Haaland. He said not so long ago that we are worried about the Erling Haaland transfer pursuit because of Jadon Sancho. And he said Mino Raiola, agent, wants to make his client the first ever £1 million a week player. Now, earlier on this season, Mino Raiola and Erling Haaland's father Al Finch Haaland had flown to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. They also held talks with Barcelona and Real Madrid. He said though that Erling Haaland to Man United is off following Mino Raiola's roadshow. And he said earlier on this season that we declined to meet Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. I'd certainly take him at Manchester United. The main explanations, I'd take him because he knows Ole Gunnar Solskjaer well. Solskjaer give Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. Another reason is because he would assure his goals, and plus he's young and he's got a lot of development in him. Erling Haaland does have a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Solskjaer kept calling Erling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. And it said earlier on this season that Solskjaer was following Erling Haaland's progress and keeping in touch with the player. Now, back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer did reveal how impressed he was with Haaland's training at Molde, but he made an admission saying that he struggled with bad knees during his time at Molde. Prior to the game against Brighton, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, he played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland, and he said the player will make his own mind up. He's been at Dortmund over a year. He's got a contract with them till 2024, and Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. There's been a few strikers we've been looking at. Not so long ago, there was a lot of narratives coming out regarding Harry Kane from Tottenham. He says that Harry Kane will ask to leave Tottenham if Tottenham fail to qualify for the Champions League. Now, it's said that Harry Kane wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. The other week, it said that PSG were looking to beat us and City to the signing of Harry Kane. Earlier on this season, it said that Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow because he refused to commit his future to Tottenham. He said he's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. We will have to make an offer of at least 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. Harry Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because he is a prolific goal scorer and his link-up play, and that's very, very good. He's well proven, of course, in the Premier League. He's been at Tottenham 17 years as Harry Kane. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024 because he signed a 6-year deal back in 2018. He's won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. David Ornstein was talking about Kane earlier on this season, and he said that Kane wants to leave because he's unhappy. He said that Kane's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there, but he wants to win the biggest trophies and he's not experiencing this at Tottenham. I'd take Dominic Calvert-Lewin at Manchester United because he's also a very, very good striker. You already know the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. Bill's Christian Falk said not so long ago that Chelsea have entered the race for Rafael Varane, so reflecting on that, Chelsea are looking to hijack our move. So we do face competition for him. Now, it recently said that Rafael Varane to Man United is close because reports were stemming from Spain saying that Man United were in advanced talks with Rafael Varane. Real Madrid's asking price is 60 million, but it said we hope to lower Real Madrid's 60 million asking price. It says Rafael Varane is ready to leave Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. There's no signs of him of signing a new contract at Real Madrid. He said his contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. Varane has just got over a year left on his current contract. The Spanish transfer expert Eduardo Inda said earlier on this season that Rafael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition. He must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. And back in 2018, Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. I'd certainly take Rafael Varane at Manchester United. Main explanations is because he's a world-class centre-half. That's one reason. He'd complement Harry Maguire in our backline. That's another reason. And he's highly experienced. He's like 27 years of age. And he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's been with them now like 10 years. He's won 18 major honours with Real Madrid. And he's made over 300 appearances. Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. He said a few weeks ago that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist, so we have been looking at quite a few centre-halves. I've already given you the news on Declan Rice from West Ham. You know the news as well on Jadon Sancho. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is. And Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season. I've already said he does deserve at least another season at the club because progress has been made. And Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window. He really, really should. Because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. And obviously Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic. But he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. Reports were coming out earlier on this season saying that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window. But Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. And I've already identified the areas where we need to strengthen up. We need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Good chance Cavani's going to go. I recently gave you the news on Cavani. It recently said that Edison Cavani has made his transfer decision. According to multiple reports from South America, Cavani's informed Man United that he's leaving at the end of the season. It's looking very imminent. He's going to be going to Boca Juniors, but a lot of United fans will be disappointed because a lot of United fans, including me, want him to stay for next season, and I presume Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants him to stay. Good chance we'll offload Martial because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. Juan Mata, there's also a good chance that we'll offload him. Donny van der Beek, I think we should offload him. The reason is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Matic, I think we'll offload him. Pogbino, he could still leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave. Delors, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. Romero, I expect us to offload him, and we could sell David De Gea in the summer transfer window. But yeah, we sell players in the summer transfer window, will generate money, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. There's also a lot of players that will stay at Man United in the summer transfer window. And I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Now, like I've said in regards to Solskjaer, he's not the long-term manager for Manchester United. I think a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. But our board think he's the long-term manager for Man United because, as you all know, Solskjaer's already agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Ollie's still got like a year left on his current 3-year contract. I presume there's a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in and believe that he needs more time at the club. But Solskjaer's been criticised a lot as Man United manager, and a lot of Man United fans have been demanding Ole out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they want him out. I've got to say, Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. He really, really is, and he's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. The Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. We've got a very good chance of winning it. You know, we are into the semi-finals. That's 5 semi-finals in total under Solskjaer. We do play Roma in the semi-finals, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how much of a tough game it's going to be. He recently spoke about Man United facing Roma in the semi-finals, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Man United. Roma will be a tough game. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the Premier League this season. We'll probably finish 2nd. Mathematically, we can still win the Premier League though. You know, we're 8 points behind City. But I'm sceptical we'll win it. I think Man City will win it. But Solskjaer said we will never ever give up on the Premier League title. Now, I do have my concerns about Ole, like I've mentioned on my recent videos, but there's also a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer. There really, really is. You know, we've enjoyed good periods under him where we have seen consistency. We're sitting 2nd in the Premier League. At one point, he got us top of the Premier League. You know, we've got a very, very good away record under Ole. We're unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the Europa League semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final this season, also got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. This is Solskjaer's 2nd full season. You know, last season, in his first full season, he guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. You know, Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. You know, he's brought the likes of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. Brought Bruno Fernandes in, Aldina Garlo in. Brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestri and Amad Diallo Traore. You know, he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. He's beaten some big name managers, and I like the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promoted the youth. Got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. So they are the positives. Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. You know, we appointed him in December 2018 and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The reason the club gave him the job permanently 2 years ago was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. He knew. But when we appointed Solskjaer in, Solskjaer assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances. I love Solskjaer because he's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. But that's the main explanation. He's still Man United manager, is because he is a club legend. Disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been here now. But in the last 8 years, Man United have been playing catch-up, as you are all aware. We haven't only had different managers with different philosophies, have we? We spent over £1 billion on players. Like I've mentioned already, we've overpaid for players. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago. Mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. The 3 managers we sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. Sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies and getting second, which I think was in his first season. So you can say Mourinho endured 1 good season with Man United. But no one's going to replicate Ferguson's legacy at the club. They're not. Ferguson endured what a 26-27 year tenure at Man United and won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So he brought success to the club, but didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. Anyway, guys, tomorrow your Leeds United Man United preview will be coming up on this channel. I'll be giving you my starting 11 prediction that for the game. Friday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be doing his press conference building up to the Man United Leeds game. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.